The job of being a content creator is to create entertaining or educational content on social media platforms. If you're good at it, a lot of great things can happen. You get to work with brands you've always dreamt of, you don't have a boss, and you can make really good money. However, being a creator has its dark side. You see, creators are constantly in this cycle of exhaustion. The pressure to post, the fear of losing everything, dealing with negativity, meeting deadlines, all of this continues to contribute to more stress until that creator crashes. Or what we like to call it, burnout. Burnout is clinically defined as a state of emotional, physical, and mental exhaustion caused by excessive and prolonged stress. It presents itself as a feeling of overwhelm, being emotionally drained, and unable to meet constant demands. A creator burnout report taken by Vibly noted that 90% of content creators experience burnout, and over 71% of those creators actually considered quitting content creation as a whole, even though it took years to build. Now, burnout can affect everyone differently. Some might last 2 days, and some lasting months. This is all determined by your why. Why am I getting burnt out? The faster you determine the underlying issue, the easier it is to overcome. As much as we think that burnout is just something that passes over time, it's actually much more than that. See, burnout can lead to prolonged stress, anxiety, and depression if you don't get it under control. At least that's what it did for me. I would spend 12 hours a day focused on creating content, forget to eat lunch or dinner, and I was doing this every day. I never took the time to relax, and I could feel it taking a toll on my physical and mental health. This led me to burnout every other week for multiple days at a time. So there are a number of reasons why creators like myself burn out. One of the biggest reasons is that we're working too much. Most creators spend more than 8 hours a day working on creating content. Whether that's scripting, editing, filming, whatever it is, we spend a lot of time creating. But why do we have to work to create so much content? Well, it's actually not our fault at all. Most social media platforms have the same thing in common, and that's an unforgiving algorithm. If you stop posting, your account stops growing, and in some cases, you can actually lose your audience. You lose your audience, and you can lose everything you've worked for, including revenue. This leads to something called the hamster wheel effect. We're in this never-ending cycle of idea, create, edit, post, and repeat. For some creators, it's much more than that. Some creators fear the hate or negativity they may receive. Some creators find it exhausting when they spend hours creating every day just for their content to not get recognized. A statistic from the same creator burnout report broke down the time to create and post content on different social media platforms. They noted that in order to stay relevant and keep up with the unforgiving algorithm, creators are expected to clock in a minimum of 71 hours of work a week. If you don't take control and find out your why, you'll continue on the road toward burnout. You'll continue to overwork yourself, cause yourself to be overwhelmed, stress, and create unhealthy habits. You'll begin waking up in the morning just to scroll on TikTok for hours at a time, or sit at the computer until midnight but realize that you haven't checked anything off your task list. Studies say that the average person is only at their highest productivity output for roughly 3 hours of their day. Anything above 8 hours of work, workers actually don't show to be productive at all. You can be sitting at your computer scripting a video, but if you wrote one sentence over the course of an hour, that's not being very productive. So what are some ways to overcome burnout? First, you need to create a healthy balance between your personal and work life. Whatever this balance is, whether it's 50% of your day work and 50% personal, or 80% work and 20% personal. Create this balance, set aside breaks in the day so you can eat, work out, and recharge. Take a walk or ask your friends to meet up for a coffee, anything to give your body the break it needs. Number 2, limit the amount of work you do in a day. Create a daily task list with critical tasks you need to complete that day. I actually made a full video on this and how I became more productive using a simple method. So if you're interested in watching that, I'll leave the link in the description below. Limiting the amount of work you do in one day could be achieved in multiple ways. First one being, have dedicated content days, so you can take breaks throughout the week. Like I said, many creators refuse to take breaks because they fear losing their audience. So have 2 or 3 dedicated content days. On Mondays, you can come up with the ideas, plan and script them. On Wednesdays and Thursdays, you can film and edit all of them. Use those days to create a week's worth of content for your social media accounts. Then all you have to do is post them. There's ways you can even schedule content to automatically post to save the time it takes to post. You can do this for YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. So when the day comes when you feel too mentally drained or tired to create, you can use the day to take care of yourself without worrying about your content. The second is to find ways to be more efficient in ways you create. This is very important. If you have to set up for an hour before you can click record, then it can lead you to procrastinate and make it easier to fall into burnout. Remove anything in the process that is unnecessary. Something I was recently doing was creating TikToks and Instagram Reels on my professional camera. Now, I didn't have to do this, but I like the high quality look, so that's why I was doing it. After I would film, I would then edit the log footage in Final Cut Pro and then transfer it to my phone to post. I realized that this long process just to create a short video was draining all my time and, most importantly, my energy. So I scrapped the editing process. I stopped filming in log for short clips, which saved time spent editing, started editing the clips on my phone, and I can still put out high quality videos fast. So find that one thing that is taking a lot of time or energy when creating, and find alternate ways you can achieve the same thing more efficiently, even if that means outsourcing to take some work off your plate. You can outsource anything from editing to even managing your social media accounts. Number 3, stop looking at the numbers. If you're falling into burnout because of negative comments, hate, not getting likes, or not being recognized, then I have a few solutions you can do that will help. Almost all social media platforms now have ways to combat these issues. If you're refreshing every 10 minutes to see if you got any more likes, head into your account settings and turn off show like count. I know Instagram has this and a few other platforms do as well. If you're receiving hate or negative comments, all platforms have settings where you now have control over your comments. Type all the negative words you never want to see or receive, and when someone does leave a comment with the word you added, then it won't get posted, meaning you'll never see it. Number 4, post things you're passionate about. If you're creating content and not being yourself or posting content for other people, your social media accounts won't last long. I create photography, tech, and creator type content because I'm genuinely passionate about it. That means I can easily pick up my camera and film some short videos talking about shutter speed or how to pose models. I can easily think of ideas, which for some people, thinking of content ideas is the hardest part. This leads me to my last point, and that's to carry a notebook with you. If you're someone who simply gets burned out because they stress over not knowing what content to make, carry a notebook or something to write down any idea that comes to mind right away. I've been writing every idea that comes to my mind in a notebook for a while now, and I now have hundreds of ideas for video content. Some of them I'll have to go over and make sure they're good, but at least I don't have to stress thinking about content ideas the day I want to make that video. Now for me, my burnouts weren't extreme in any way, or at least something I couldn't control. It wasn't about the numbers, it wasn't about the hate, it was simply because I was working too much in one day. Using dedicated content days to plan, edit, and post has helped me extremely. I now batch shoot a week's worth of TikTok and Instagram Reels content in the same day. That way I can take breaks to recharge throughout the week. I removed any unnecessary steps I was doing to create content faster and more efficiently, and I started carrying a notebook so I can write down content ideas anytime. At the end of the day, there are many reasons why people experience burnout, whether that be too much work on your plate or receiving negative comments. It's important to determine your why and create a plan to fix it. I hope this helped. If it did, make sure you leave a like. It really helps the channel grow. Make sure to subscribe and hit the bell to be notified when I post a new video. Thanks for watching.